A lot of people tend to not really understand where I'm coming from when I talk so harshly about these stories. It is really because I care. I care about the fact that I think every life matters. And I wish that people would care about their lives enough to preserve their life, to preserve their neighborhood, preserve their city, and not let thugs and criminals overrun their damn city, make them feel scared like it's Beirut, like you're just a prisoner in your own home, in your own neighborhood. And it shouldn't be that way, right? At some point, we got to take a stand. We got to stand up. We got to protect our children. We got to protect our family. Or flat out, maybe people just need to move if you feel like it's just gotten that bad. There are places all throughout the United States. People need to travel. You learn so much. You can become so much better when you travel and move around a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But more than anything, we have to do what's best by our children. And let me tell you guys something. The way that things are going in Chicago right now, every holiday, it don't matter whether it's Thanksgiving, it don't matter whether it's Hanukkah, it doesn't matter whether it's Passover Day, or what other holidays are there? It don't matter whether it's Chinese New Year. People in Chicago, not all, hashtag not all, are going to find a way to commit mass shootings. It is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm going to tell you, I had a friend of mine on Facebook, and she posted and she said, everybody's talking about these celebrities and everybody want to talk about the Migos, but ain't nobody going to say nothing about all these people that got shot in Chicago. I said, send me the link, email me the link, show me which story you're talking about. Because there are a number of them that have happened. But I was able to find it. I looked it up and I said, the headline reads, 14 people, 14 human beings were shot, including 3 children in Chicago in a drive-by shooting. How can you possibly be mad at 14 individuals, including 3 children? Were you mad at one person? Were you mad at a group of people? Were you mad at an organization? Was it a church that pissed you off? Or like, what was it? And I'm so confused because I'm like, this is a normal occurrence. This is very normal for Chicago. For a shooting to happen and you look up and 35 people been shot, 2 people dead. 35 people shot, 2 people dead. And I'm like, how? How? I've taken gun training courses in 2 different states where you also get an opportunity to go to the gun range. I've been to the gun range on my own. And I think to myself, how can you be either that bad of a shot or how can you be that mad to want to just shoot up that many people and this stuff happens on a regular basis? I can't compute it. It's like my brain wants to go malfunction. Like I can't compute. I don't get it. We ain't even got to the story yet. Just that title alone. And here's the thing. We can look at it and say, well, we need more police. They need to be patrolling more, and maybe we need more advocates in the community. Maybe we need to have more fathers in the household and this and that. You can also just look at it and say, how about the thugs just not kill each other? How about that? How about you find something better to do with your life, do with your time, do something constructive? Instead of being destructive, you would think that at some point, maybe you would just get tired of being destructive. You're just, oh yeah, man, I got about 93 bodies on my resume. I think it's about time for me to do something different, right? I've been killing niggas since 1995. I think it's time for me to turn over a new leaf. Maybe instead of killing people, maybe I can start, I don't know, cutting people's grass, walking old ladies across the street, right? Get a 9-to-5 job, fill out a job application, raise community awareness, something like the hell. 3 children shot out of 14 people. Just good Lord, man. Look, I got a lot more to say about this. And this happened on Halloween. Before we get into the story, let me give you guys the fair usage. Not the fair usage, but the, the disclaimer. Because I don't want people to get mad and I don't want people to flag my channel. But here's the thing. Some people might find my content controversial or offensive. I probably should have already have said that. Sorry, and my bad. The information from this video is coming from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news websites, in this case, CNN.com. Thank you for the article, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions, which I've already given some, about the facts of the story. The point is to use this as a cautionary tale in hopes that Chicago will wake the F up. Viewer discretion is advised, and that is your official disclaimer. At least 14 people, including 3 children, were shot in a drive-by shooting Monday night at a busy corner in Chicago where people had gathered for a vigil. And investigators are trying to find the shooters. Say 2 things. First of all, if it was a vigil, that probably means it was a vigil for somebody that was probably gunned down. It's so funny how Chicago has the strongest gun laws in the nation that make it harder for law-abiding citizens, and it does nothing against the criminals. Strongest laws have the highest gun violence rate. Well, they call it gun violence. I call it thugs with guns. So they're attending a vigil, so that means that person probably could have been either gang-related, could have been an innocent bystander, but I'm going to just assume, without having all the details, because I don't need all the details, because this is nothing but a reverberating thing. It's a repeating cycle. It happens all the time. It happens every day, okay? That's how I can deduce the things that I say, based on the fact that I have 1,000 other stories that are just like this. I'm going to assume that this person might have been gang-related, because you'd have to ask, if a person was an innocent bystander, got shot and got killed, why would they come and do a drive-by on it? So therefore, that lets me know that it was probably family or friends of somebody that was gang involved, and the gang found out that there was going to be a vigil, and these cowards pulled up and shot at those people. We're going to talk about Lori Lightfoot also. Lori Lighthead. We're going to talk about Lori Lighthead here in a minute. Are people not smart enough? And it really makes me question how much education these people have. In general, not all. But it makes me question the mentality. If you know that your loved one died of stupid gang violence, why would you gather in public in one place for people to just walk up, just and just light everybody up? The reason that person probably died in the first place was for them to cause harm either to their gang or their family. So yes, everybody becomes a target. Why would you gather anywhere in Chicago? Matter of fact, why would you ever be outside of your house at past 5 o'clock in Chicago? Once you get off of work, you need to go home to your prison and go no place else, right? That's just the way it is. You get up in the morning at the crack of dawn after the thugs then went to sleep, go to work your 9 to 5. The moment that you get off, you tell your boss, like, hey, boss, it's 4:59. I got to get ready to clock out. I got to go jump in my car and go straight home. I only got a few minutes before the thugs come out at night, right? You got to get your ass home. It ain't time to go to church. It ain't time to go to the grocery store. You better Uber Eats that shit or something. You better have somebody deliver it. Have one delivery person out driving around so everybody knows that one delivery driver. That delivery driver needs to have like one of them big old box trucks and just go pick up everybody's groceries and just go deliver it to everybody. Y'all get your affairs in order. There is no point of your children playing outside, going to the park, nothing. There's no point in having Halloween outside. There's no point of 4th of July going outside. What other outside activities? Easter? Screw Easter. Cross that off your list. There's no point of putting Easter eggs out there on the ground that's probably filled with gun residue, blood, and bullets. Huh? There's no point of celebrating anything. There's nothing to celebrate. Am I going too hard? Do I just need to read the story? Is anybody getting mad right now? I think some people are getting mad. I have, and this is the light version of me. This is the mild version of me. Right? This is the mild version. How you got mild, medium, hot, extra hot, and fuego. This is the mild version of Just Jay. Let's talk about this. 2 people traveling in a dark SUV opened fire on Halloween night. So I was right. Halloween night. So I'm going to assume that it was after 5 o'clock. At people on the corner of California Avenue and Polk Street around 9:30 p.m. before the vehicle was driving away. That literally confirmed everything that I just said. It was at night and they were gathered outside. Why? You remember that song Mo3 made? They scared to go outside? Why would you go outside in Chicago? Why? For what? A 15th person, a woman, suffered scrapes when a vehicle struck her as she tried to flee from the site. A 3-year-old boy and an 11-year-old girl and a 13-year-old boy were among those shot. Gunshot victims were being treated at the hospitals. Their conditions were described as critical for 2, serious for 5, good for 6, and unknown for 1, police said on Tuesday morning. The vigil was unrelated to the shooting. This is according to CNN.com. Let me say that again. They said the vigil was unrelated to the shooting. They said that in a news release without giving further details on the motive. But doesn't that make that even more stupid? So why would you open fire on a group of people if it wasn't related? You just saw people gathered and you were just like, were they about to get it? I don't understand. There have also been others gathered for other various reasons, he said. It's a very, common corner where people congregate to have different meetings and gatherings. More than 500 mass shootings have happened in the United States so far this year, according to the nonprofit Gun Violence Archive. Gun violence. Thugs with guns, but whatever. The count was at 574 as of Tuesday, an average of more than 1.8 mass shootings every day, says the group, which, like CNN, defines a mass shooting as one in which at least 4 people are shot, excluding the shooter. Also, Monday night, a teenager was killed and 6 others were injured in a shooting at a Halloween party in Kansas City, Kansas. As many as 100 teenagers were at the home when the gunfire erupted. Video of the Chicago shooting scene obtained by investigators showed the violence unfolded in a matter of seconds, Brown said. Brown encouraged anyone with knowledge of the incident to contact law enforcement or leave an anonymous tip with CPD. What type of tips are you going to give them? They know what the vehicle looks like, but if it was unrelated to the vigil, then what was the motive? What was the motive? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. They just out just trying to kill as many people as possible. Chicago is going to run out of people really, really soon. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And if you guys would do me a favor, if you listen to the story, click the thumbs up. And I want to bring more attention to these stories, or at least a conversation. We got to start having a conversation, a debate about this stuff. So tell me why. How was it not related? Then what was the motive? There had to have been a motive. There had to have been somebody they were upset with. And if they were upset with somebody, why didn't they just go after the person that they were upset with? That lets me know that this thing had to have been related. Had to have been shooting at somebody related to this whole thing. Something. Here we go.
Less than 12 hours after 14 people were wounded in a drive-by shooting on the west side.
Vehicle also struck a woman trying to run from the scene. Sean Lewis live outside Stroger Hospital with the details.
Yeah, this is where several of those victims were brought here with varying injuries from critical to not as critical, non-life-threatening, as the police have said. In all, as you added up there, 15 people hurt in this incident, 14 of them hit by gunfire. One man was hit by a vehicle leaving the scene. The shooting happened around 9:30 last night at California and Polk during a vigil and balloon launch that was paying tribute to
somebody who passed away from natural causes. I forgot they did say that. Some people in the chat are saying, is it possible that this could have been a gang initiation by them just going to go shoot up a bunch of people? Do y'all think that's what it is? If that's the case, I'm wondering, when are they going to run out of bullets? As much shooting as they're doing. Not all of Chicago is like this. My neighborhood is perfectly safe at night. We don't have these issues, and this is majority black neighborhood that's solidly middle class to upper middle class. Now, I've seen you in here before, and I think we've actually had some good conversations. And shout out to you, but here's what I would have to ask. How is it that if it's not all, and I always say hashtag not all, I didn't say all of Chicago was like this, but you'd also have to ask, how is it that they have like this many shootings and it happens every single holiday? It happens on every weekend, during the weekdays. It don't even happen just at night. It happens during the daytime. I've actually heard from people that live in those areas that will tell you every night sounds like da-da-da, 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 all night, every night. I could literally do so I want y'all to think about this. The war in Chirac. Y'all remember that? DJ Academics. Y'all remember that? This man was able to build an empire of his own by simply talking about the shootings that were going on with the gangs specifically in Chicago, and this man was able to make an entire fucking channel just off of the gang shootings. Let me say that again. One city. This man made an entire channel, an entire empire was built as a foundational base. The war in Chirac. Can somebody tell me when I'm speaking something that is factually inaccurate? If it's not all, how is it that even me, I can do stories about Chicago every single month, and it's not just one person dying. I don't just talk about one or two people dying. It's usually always, 16 people were shot, 20 people were shot, 13 people were shot, 14 people were shot, 11 people were shot. It's always a group, a bundle of people, right? I don't give a shit if it's not all of Chicago. Little Chicago has a ton of stories. So many that a person could build an entire channel just on talking about stories from your city. That is too much. There is no excuse for that. There is no law that you can put into place that's going to stop stupid people from being stupid. Right? Stupid is as stupid thugs. Ain't that right, Lieutenant Dan? Uh-huh. You can't fix stupid. You can't fix the fact that people grow up not valuing themselves. That is not a mayoral problem. That is not a police presence problem. That is not a white supremacy problem. That is not a Joe Biden or a Donald Trump or almost what is that man's name? That is not an ex-President Obama problem. We are procreating to only bring children into this world to get benefits off of the backs of those children. Hashtag babies for benefits, because we don't marry, we don't require a man to do anything except ejaculate, create kids, run off, and we continue to just keep making kids, giving them stupid names, which equals stupid things, and they end up not valuing themselves because they don't know how to go out into the world and do anything else. So if they don't care about themselves, what have I been saying for years now? They're going to go out into the world and they're going to perpetrate their feelings onto everybody else. So if they don't care about themselves and don't care about the consequences and knowing about the fact that 70% of the murders that happen in Chicago go unsolved, there's a high probability that it's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to your family. Matter of fact, let me speak on this. You remember when FBG Duck got killed in Chicago, in uptown Chicago, in a nice area? Oh, nothing ever happens in this area. Y'all remember that? This is a nice area. People are shopping over here and blah, blah, blah. Well, he took his ass over there to go shopping, and guess what happened to him? The cockroaches eventually will spread. They're not going to just sit in a couple houses. They're not going to just sit on a particular side of town. They're going to spread. And you see it happening. Instead of me doing stories just on children, I could do stories just on y'all city. Oak Street on the Gold Coast. Thank you. I could do stories just on your city. And if I could do stories just on your city, every single live stream, then you got too much going on. Plain and simple. That's just stupid. Don't argue that. That's flat out unintelligent.
After this shooting happened, those who live in this neighborhood on Chicago's near west side and heard those gunshots last night say they don't buy it.
That's not true. There ain't nothing declining. I don't know why they lying to the public. They ain't got nothing, bro. They ain't got nothing, man. The police chief, he ain't got a clue to what he doing. He need to go back to Texas. The mayor don't know what she doing, and the state's attorney don't know what they doing.
Wow. Bro, talk about accountability. Let me let y'all hear from Pastor What's His Face. Let me let y'all hear from him again. Usually I like to hear from elder brothers, but good Lord, man. Listen to what he had to say again.
Say they don't buy it.
That's not true. There ain't no nothing declining. I don't know why they lying to the public. They ain't got nothing, bro. They ain't got nothing, man. The police chief, he ain't got a clue to what he doing. He need to go back to Texas. The mayor don't know what she doing, and the state's attorney don't know what they doing.
You're gonna blame it on your government? Here's the thing. The government makes it harder on law-abiding citizens. I get that. They make it harder on law-abiding citizens. But what you won't talk about, and notice, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to look in the camera when I say this. You tell me when any of these residents will point the finger at the thugs who are committing the violence. Tell me when they say it was this gang, or it was this person, or it was these group of people. Tell me when they do that. Oh, it's easy to talk about the chief of police. It's easy to talk about the mayor. It's easy to talk about these people. And matter of fact, I think I have a screenshot. Let me see if I can show you one of the statements if I can. Chicago mass shooting. Let me show you guys something real quick, because this goes right along with this. So you hold on, Mr. Black Man. You hold on. A statement from Mayor Lori Lighthead. Ballhead. Lightfoot. Whatever. Anyway. Last night, terror touched the lives of 14 individuals. Touched? Is that what we're calling it now? Touched? Okay. It touched 14 individuals, including 3 children, in another tragic display of gun violence by cowards. Okay, so I'll give her credit. She actually did say gun violence by cowards. She could have said cowards gun violence. Either way. But those two things need to go together. Cowards indiscriminately shooting into a crowd. The shooters had no concerns for the lives of adults and children impacted, but I am calling on people of goodwill who have information to come forward. None of us can be silent when faced with this kind of tragedy. I want y'all to remember this. Mayor Lori Lightfoot has already proven she's incompetent. She don't know what she's doing. She has no answers. The police have no answers. Let me show you guys something else. You guys see this? You guys see this? Let me back it up like a U-Haul truck. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. About 30 police out there. Hands in pocket, chilling, talking to each other. So, hey, Bill, how's the kids? Oh, they're good. How's the wife? Same old, same old. Just another night. So what we got going on out here? Oh, nothing. Just taking pictures and looking at all the bullets and shells. And, well, what do you think happened? Same thing happens every day. Just chilling. And I've told you guys that we're going to start doing this. They're not going to go and prevent you from taking yourselves out. And I've said this in a video, and y'all can actually go back into my archive and look at what I said. I think it was, I wish I could remember. I know which video it is. I'd have to go back and look for it. But I actually said that all they're going to do is they're going to wait for the violence to happen. They're going to get the phone calls and be like, okay, gotcha. We'll send units. All right, units. Give it about an hour. Let's let it clear out. Let's let the smoke clear. Let's let the killers drive off. The shooters drive off. And what are we going to do? Come in and come scrape up the bodies. That's the easiest way to do it. And that's the best way to keep the police life safe. What is the point of combating something like this? Just look at it from law enforcement perspective. There's nothing that's going to stop them from killing each other. They don't care at this point Retaliatory strike, retaliatory strike. They don't care. It's going to happen no matter what you do. So why make your job harder? So instead of working harder, they just work smarter, and they just say, you know what? We can still get our same paycheck, and all we got to do is take less risk by showing up after the fact. If we find something, we find something cool. If somebody finally decides to get some cojones and turn somebody in, fine. But 70% of the time, they don't. Is that a police problem? Or is that a problem with the people that live there that are constantly under this thumb of thug violence? That sounds like that's a resident problem. The thugs clearly don't care. Here's where the interesting point comes in. You can't defend yourself as a law-abiding citizen. You're not really allowed to have guns like that as law-abiding citizens in Chicago. So how, if the police aren't going to protect you, if the mayor's not going to protect you, they're not going to allow for the feds to come in and clean this place up for you? Sanctuary city, if they're not going to allow that to happen, then what are you going to do? How are you going to protect yourselves? You got to protect yourselves at this point. What you going to do? Get some pitchforks? You got to fight fire with fire, right? Meet force with force. That's the point of the Second Amendment, is to protect yourselves. So if you're waiting on your government to protect you, then you're waiting on the wrong damn thing. I'm not telling you to break the law. You live by the laws of the land, but why would you allow these laws to govern you like this? Laws are meant to be changed. Laws are meant to be voted on. And nobody is speaking on this. They're just saying, you know what, we got all of this gun violence going on out here. What we need to do is make it harder for law-abiding citizens to have guns. Let's take the guns away from them. And how does that stop the thugs? The people who don't care about the law ain't gonna follow the law. No way, no how. And then also remember this. That no cash bond thing. Oh, by January, it's about to get bad. Here's why. Because there are a lot of people who don't follow the law who think that means with the no cash bond, they think that means that they could just get out of jail like an OR on recognizance. And that's not what it is at all. But they think no cash bond means they don't have to have money to get a bond. What it means is that if they decide to grant you a bond, then you don't have to pay a bond. Or excuse me, if they decide to grant you that you can just come back to court and you don't have to have a bond or anything, then they can let you out. If they decide that you're a danger or a threat to society, they can keep you. But most of those people don't know the difference when they say no cash bond. They just think now it's going to be a free-for-all. We could do whatever we want to do, and the consequences are going to be less. And that's not what it is. Have I said too much? Is everybody keeping up with me? The time for the law-abiding citizens to protect themselves was 30 years ago. Y'all should have been protecting yourselves. You don't like the way that the laws are? Vote people in who are going to change the law according to the way that you need it to go. To be honest, instead of living in a state or a city where law-abiding citizens aren't allowed to have guns, but thugs do, as opposed to living in a city or a state like Texas and Oklahoma where everybody got a gun, give me a first-class ticket to the state where everybody can have a gun. I'd rather be around everybody that got guns rather than nobody has guns except the thugs, the non-law-abiding citizens. Right? I feel more comfortable seeing everybody with a gun on their hip. Because that means everybody has the ability to defend themselves. Everybody has a right to stand their ground. Don't blame this on your government. Y'all voted for these assholes. Or if you didn't vote, then you voted for those assholes.
Need someone to step in and tell them to put those guns down. It's not helping nobody. It's just killing our own race off.
Yeah, you think? You think? Because the only people out there dying is people that look just like you. Look just like you and look just like that last old man that was on the screen. You're damn right. It ain't happening to other people of other races like this. So why would people get mad about the fact that they don't care that you're committing genocide against yourself? Common sense would tell you, maybe we need to stop doing it to ourselves or figure out how to make us stop doing it to ourselves. Maybe there's something psychologically wrong with us. Maybe we need to stop bringing kids into this world willy-nilly with no damn stability.
The mayor not saying anything on camera today, but did release this statement earlier this morning saying, quote, last night's shooting reminds us that there are too many weapons of war available to criminals. We must have a statewide ban, and I urge the legislature to act. Now, Chicago.
She said we need to have a statewide ban on weapons of war. Lori Lighthead, ma'am, do you think banning it is going to stop them from having what they already got? They could be importing this shit illegally, still get it. You think they're going to follow the law just because we got laws on the books that tells them they can't have these automatic weapons? Do you think they care, ma'am? I can almost guarantee you the only way that 14, 15 people were able to be shot was because of automatic weapons. Excuse me, Mayor Lighthead. A statewide ban is only going to affect the people who actually follow the law. You know what? Let me just finish this story out. This is stupid.
Police Superintendent David Brown last night briefing the media said that there were two shooters in at least one vehicle. That vehicle and part of the incident caught on police pod cameras. They are not releasing that video, but so far they say they have no one in custody. That's the latest here live at Stroger Hospital. Sean Lewis, WGN News.
All right, Sean.
Let me know and I'll cut it off, but there's only about 5 minutes. And again, I will say this and I'll continue to say this to anybody who wants to point the finger at whatever has created this. It's still, at the end of the day, up to the people who make the choices. It's the individuals. And until those people who point the finger at everybody else start pointing the finger at those criminals, I would encourage you guys to just flat out just ignore it. Whether it be from the residents, whether it be people in the chat, or whatever the case is, just flat out ignore it at this point. Because I don't see people saying it's the criminal's fault, it's the thug's fault, it's the gang members' fault, it's the this fault, the people who are actually committing the shootings. I have not heard that. And that's a very weird thing to see people who claim to know how it got to this point, but will never point the finger at the people who are actually doing this thing. That's scary to me. Y'all keep those children in your prayers. For the adults, they know what they're living in. I really don't even know what to say about this. But like I said, man, I could absolutely do stories about Chicago each and every day, every week, a live stream a week. I think would get it done. But like I said, I'm going to continue to keep putting the focus on the children and just really continue to educate people to put the power back in your hands. Either change the laws, or you might have to leave the areas that won't change the laws. But one way or another, your money is power, your voice is power, and use that power and protect yourselves, okay? All right, thank you guys so much for listening to this story. Chicago, Chicago. It's a crazy deal. Guys, we're going to move on to story number 2. So here's what I need to do. I need us to Tried to double our thumbs up, so we're a little bit short of our goal. We're at 344 thumbs up. And what I need us to do is I need us to get us to 400 if we can. So if you guys would do me a favor and click that thumbs up and try to get us to 400, we're at 345. So that means we only need, 55 more? And our next story is going to be out of, is this one Texas? I think it is. Nope, Indianapolis. Indianapolis. This story is going, let me see if I can find it. Nationwide manhunt. You know, it's crazy how they refer to this particular story about, let me see if I can I change this? Let me refresh it. Next. They're saying there's a manhunt for this woman, but they call it a manhunt. Wouldn't that be a woman hunt? I know what a manhunt is, but I don't know if y'all have already heard this story, but y'all are going to find this unreal. What that individual is accused of doing. Indianapolis. Are y'all in the building? Anybody from Indianapolis? The state of Indiana. Need y'all to come to the front of the congregation. It is y'all time to be admonished. This is a very unique story in which they are calling for a nationwide manhunt for a woman. I don't know why they call it a manhunt for a woman, but nonetheless, this story is really sad. And I'm going to tell you guys, it just makes you wonder why so many people in general are having children, number one, or even having custody of children, because that's a choice. You don't have to keep custody of children. You don't even have to create children. You can just be abstinent. But people are choosing to do that, but you end up having these situations where these people are abusing children to the maximum level. And it's really sad, and we're just going to flat out just punish the people that do this and just pray that this type of thing stops, all right? Let me give you guys the disclaimer real quick, because some people who, if this is your first time here, you might find my content controversial or offensive. My information is coming, in this instance, from WRTHR.com. So thank you for the article. And also coming from official police charges and interviews. This video commentary contains my personal opinion about the facts of this story. The point is to use this as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing these tragedies like these going to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised, and that is your official disclaimer. Indianapolis, there is a nationwide manhunt underway for a woman charged in the murder of her 5-year-old son, whose body was found in a suitcase in Indiana in April. You are looking at the suitcase. Let me see if I can maybe get a bigger picture of it, a more pronounced picture. That one's probably big enough for you to be able to see it. 5 years old. And this woman, based on what we understand, thought so little about her child that she caused this death and stuffed him in a suitcase. And I think she left him in the middle of nowhere. And I'm going to look into the camera right now before we even get started with the details that I'm going to say to this. Let me see if I can get her face up on the screen. Get her face back up here, because there's a lot more to talk about. This idiot right here. Smiling. Smug face. I don't even know how to pronounce her name properly. I don't know if that is Dewan Ludi Anderson, whatever her name is. I hope they find you. I hope they drag you in by your hair across hot coals and give you the justice that you deserve to face. And you probably deserve worse than that. I hope they snatch a mud hole out of her ass. When y'all hear what this woman did to this baby, it is absolutely unacceptable. The investigation identified the mother and an accomplice, and I hope they get her, and I hope she faces the same amount of years, or even the ultimate penalty under law. I hope she gets the same thing. But it uncovered a series of social media posts over the course of months in which the mother claimed her son was possessed by a demon and needed an exorcism. This is not even the first time we've heard of this. You can actually type the word exorcism on my channel, and I think it'll actually bring up maybe 1 or 2 videos. Police now know the body that was found in a suitcase in rural Washington County on April the 16th was that of a little boy by the name of Cairo Jordan, who was 5 years old, which is this smiling baby right here. 5-year-old Cairo Jordan. His mother, 37-year-old Dejaune Dewan Dejaune. I don't know how to pronounce her name. It looks like Dewan to me. Dewan L. Anderson, 37 years old, of Atlanta, the alleged mother, and a woman that she called her sister, who is 40 years old and by the name of Dawn Elaine Coleman. Let me see if I can get her face back up here. It's a little hard to see, but I think that's who that is. That is 40-year-old Dawn Elaine Coleman of Louisiana, and they're accused in Cairo's death. Anderson remains at large, and Coleman is currently behind bars. So the person that they're looking for is that person. On December the 5th of 2021, that's the first date in which documents detail Anderson referencing her son and an exorcism in a Facebook post. In one post, she identified her son, and in another that same day, she wrote, "I offer reversal spell protection, activating your DNA, exorcism, hex/curse." January of 2022, exactly 1 month later, Coleman wrote, "I'm using my blood for this ritual." And she wrote this on Facebook. Let me say that again. That means it was in a public forum where people saw this. Well, I'm sorry. I know some people might say I mispronounced her name, but, you know, maybe she should have had a simpler name to pronounce. Her name is pretty stupid. Okay? That means somebody saw this and didn't say anything. Nobody acted. Nobody thought anything was wrong, I guess. She said, "I'm using my blood for this ritual" on Facebook. Clearly, this is somebody that don't need to have kids. February of 2022, I want y'all to look at all the red flags that were here. February 2022, the posts escalated. On February the 19th, documents say that Anderson wrote a Facebook post that said that she could not wait to tell her story. She said she had to heal herself and Gaia, Gaia, I guess, the Greek goddess of earth, also known as the mother of all life, in order to exorcism a very powerful demonic force from within my son. Was that not enough? But it gets worse. She went on to say that she had people in enough alignment with their soul to assist her. Let's move on to March of 2022. In March, Anderson started posting about how she believed a demon had taken over the vessel that was her son. These references began March 15th of 2022 with a post from Anderson that said, "Stop getting caught up in the vessels of this realm. You guys get caught up with how old the body is. If they adult and kids, etc., don't even know if it's a full-grown demon in the child body telling you what to do because you didn't choose your soul. Better start using your third eye." and she still was able to keep this boy. These posts alone should have been plenty enough for somebody to literally put in an emergency order and come snatch this child away from her, period. 3 days before she posted this, documents say Anderson was in a 30-mile police chase with her son and Coleman in the car. The chase happened in South Carolina. Anderson was taken to jail and later released. Let me say it again. She was taken to jail and later released. On March the 18th, Anderson posted that she can't wait to tell her story about the exorcism and living with a demonic child in a book or a podcast. By March 31st, she, Coleman, and Cairo had left South Carolina and were in Louisville. That much was made clear by her March 31st arrest in Louisville for allegedly stealing from a mall. Court documents say when a mall security stopped her, she became violent, punched the security officer in the face. April of 2022. While Anderson was in jail, documents make it appear that Coleman took over the social media posting, documenting their beliefs about demons, vessels, and a possessed child. On April the 4th, Coleman posted about evil hiding in plain sight and referenced avatars that don't have souls. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it says, "Don't let avatars fool you. There is a face under it, and you need to see some have souls, some don't. Evil and wicked is hiding in plain sight. Must keep rising. AKMG." Four days later, she wrote a lengthy post. Matter of fact, do I have that saved? Let me see if I have it saved. I might be able to show you on the screen. Hold on. Y'all bear with me. If you guys are listening to this right now, do me a favor and please click that thumbs up and share this video and let more people know that we are live talking about the story. That will help us out quite a bit. And yes, here it is. So this is the one that I just read, so you guys can see that. That was on April the 4th. Don't let avatars fool you. I'm sorry, but if you are stupid enough to talk about spirits and demons and avatars, your ass don't need to be a parent. You shouldn't have kids. They should be immediately taken out of your possession. Let's move on to this one. I want you guys to see this. Let me make it bigger. Some of y'all might not be able to see this. 4 days later, she wrote a post detailing how she was convinced that the powerful beings were taking over children's bodies and how these avatars steal energy and ruin lives. She also mentioned evil beings cursing wombs. And on April the 8th, as you guys can see here, just because the avatar is of what we call a child does not mean that it is actually a child. There are beings that are here that are not supposed to be here that pick avatars to hide behind, to play roles, to steal energy and ruin lives. You better check to see if the children that you think are children actually have souls, or if they're not malevolent beings with a soul and in a child avatar. Man. Magic is real. Curses are real, and some are very powerful. Evil beings hear that something. Don't even matter. Let's keep going. On April the 10th, 6 days before Cairo's body was found, Coleman took to Facebook again. She wrote, "Most children aren't even really children," and again asserted that they're an avatar playing a character. Anderson was released from jail April the 11th, and she wasted no time getting back on social media. On April the 12th, she tweeted at at Fr. Vincent Lampert. I don't know what that means. The priest for the Archdiocese of Indiana. And she said she needed to speak with him urgently. Oh, I think I have that screenshot. Hold on. I could show y'all that. I think it is this one. Right here. Documents say that her full tweet to Lampert said, Fr. Vince Lampert, good day, sir. I need to speak with you urgently. I have survived the death attacks from my 5-year-old through the 5 years that he's been alive. I have been able to weaken his powers through our blood. I have his real name and he is 100 years old. Need assistance. Whoever the father is that slept with this woman had to have known that something was absolutely wrong with her. Fellas, we got to do better. Instead of just seeing a wet vagina, we got to start doing better with where we place our damn seeds in. Man, we are failing. Just because you got that thing in between your legs don't mean you need to be a mother. Seriously. Men ain't no better. They'll stick their junk in anything that got a damn heartbeat. Men ain't no better. We are all culpable in this. 13 News sought out the tweet to see if there was any reply, but it appears the tweet and Anderson's Twitter account have been deleted. On April the 14th, Anderson and Coleman's phones pinged near Holden Road in Perkin, Indiana, where a mushroom hunter would find a little boy's body inside a suitcase 2 days later. Surveillance video from a nearby home shows a car driving up Holden Road around the same time that Anderson and Coleman's phones pinged in that area. Documents say the car stopped near where the suitcase was found. On April the 15th, Anderson returned to Facebook to say, "This is a whole demon in a child body." She continues in the post making claims about demons, spirits, and magic. On April the 16th, Cairo Jordan's body was found in Washington County. That same day, Anderson's Dodge Challenger was caught on camera driving south on I-65 over a bridge from southern Indiana to Kentucky. Cairo was never reported to authorities as a missing child, and he would have been 6 years old on October the 24th, which was only about a week ago. The suitcase he was found in, documents say, was seen in pictures and videos on Coleman's social media pages. 13 News found photos on Coleman's social media pages in the background where you could see the suitcase, which was, let me see if I can go to that picture. Right there. They've circled where that suitcase is. That boy could have been dead in there for days, maybe even months. 2 felony arrest warrants were issued for Coleman and Anderson. Coleman was arrested in recent days in San Francisco, California. Police are still trying to locate Anderson. A felony murder arrest warrant was issued for Anderson. Police are asking people across the country to be on the lookout for Anderson. Her last known location was the Echo Park area of Los Angeles. However, people say that she's known to travel and has recently been to San Francisco, San Diego, Las Vegas, and Houston, Texas. So Houston, y'all be on the lookout. My people, if y'all see her, y'all need to turn her ass in. Help us locate her for Cairo so that justice can be served for him, said Sergeant Kerry Holes, Indiana State Police. Anderson, this fool is about 5'5" and 135 pounds. She has short, dark brown hair in her last known photo, but she is known to often wear wigs or hair extensions. weaves. Police believe the photo below is the most accurate photo of Anderson, although not the most recent, which would be, see if I can find it. Hold on. Because it's important that I show you guys the correct picture, which is, that's the one they're referring to as the most recent one. Anyone who sees her or has information about her location is asked to contact local police department with jurisdiction at that location. AFC, this is why I asked everybody where you guys are from. If anybody between those areas or anybody out there, wherever y'all are from, be on the lookout for her. See something, say something. This would be a great opportunity for you guys to really, truly be heroes and step up and bring this criminal ass mother to justice. Let me give you guys the fair usage. I would love to bring one of y'all on my channel and y'all tell me about how y'all caught her. Let's go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And I wonder how she gets all of this funding to be able to just move around and drive from coast to coast like that. Like, I don't know how you do that, how you travel, how you move around like that. I don't know how she's able to do that. But if you guys would, do me a favor and please click that thumbs up if you would. It'll help share this video and let more people know that we're talking about this story. And again, the reason why this is so important is because if anybody sees her, she needs to be caught before something else bad happens. So let's bring her to justice. I'm going to show a couple of these news videos. Let's go.
For the first time, police are also stating the boy's age. They believe he's 5 years old. Plus, they released the exact location where a mushroom hunter found the body, the suitcase, on East Holder Road. WHS 11 team's Tom Lally is there tonight with families and officers, hoping this information leads to answers.
It's a lot of stuff to process.
The boy found just off their road.
I mean, in our little community, something dramatic, so sorry.
Oh, can y'all do me a favor? We want to have one thumb up for everybody watching. Can y'all hit that thumbs up for me? If you're new here, if you just got here, all you got to do is hit that thumbs up. It'll bring a few more people here, okay? Thank you.
There are few words and fewer answers, so police are releasing new information in hopes of finding the person responsible.
He did not put himself there and wind up approximately 80 feet off the roadway in a heavily wooded area by himself.
He was found in this closed suitcase. The name brand is Revo. It's the kind you would remember seeing. We're also learning new information about the unidentified child through an autopsy just completed today.
Based on the dental condition, the teeth were clean, in good shape. He appeared well cared for. And we're also saying, based on the teeth, that we're looking at a child probably around 5 years old. So we were saying 5 to 8, probably closer to the 5-year age range at this point.
For the first time tonight, we can say that we are in the same woods where this boy's body was found. I talked with neighbors who live along the road. They say it's a rural area. They only see cars on this road if they're visiting someone here or if they got lost and they're turning around.
I can't imagine putting a child in a suitcase and just tossing them outside. Side of the road.
Neighbors here say they're nervous to speak out but feel compelled to give a voice to the kid.
I'd like to know a name.
Nothing's going to change the fact that Cairo's not with us, but we're very thankful for the information that we do have, and we can step forward. You know, we've wanted from the get-go to be able to say we've identified this child.
Tonight at 6, we have finally learned the identity of the young boy who was found dead inside of a suitcase in Washington County. Police today announcing an arrest and told us who they are still looking for. Thanks for inviting us in at 6. I'm Scott Swan.
And I'm Felicia Lawrence. Anne Marie has the night off. Right now, police are looking for this woman here, 37-year-old DeJuan Anderson of Atlanta. She's believed to be responsible for killing her 5-year-old son, Cairo Jordan. Indiana State Police gave a major update to the case 7 hours ago. Rich Nye is in southern Indiana with what we finally know about this little boy.
This is Cairo Jordan from Atlanta, Georgia. He would have turned 6 years old this week. Today on Facebook, his father, Vincent Jordan, shared photos of Cairo, but said he has not seen his son since 2017. Vincent says Cairo's mother took him away in a custody battle. This morning, Indiana State Police identified Cairo as the boy found in the Las Vegas suitcase.
So y'all hear that? And thank y'all for hitting that thumbs up. They had a custody battle, and if she didn't like this baby that she's referring to as a demon, why didn't she give up custody? Remember, that's the most important question to ask is why? Why didn't she give up custody? Because her, and it looks like when she said her friend, probably her girlfriend, they only kept these kids for the benefits that they could collect off of these kids, whatever that is. Hashtag babies for benefits. Why else would you keep a kid to just kill the kid? When the dad clearly was asking for custody. Most men, unless they can prove that the mother is a bad mother, are not going to win custody flat out. You might get joint visitation, but you're usually not going to win custody unless you can prove a long history of bad mothering. Isn't that something? We would ask, well, why did he go to court? They did go to court. And apparently they found that there was no reason to take custody from this woman and give to him. The point is not for him to prove that he was a better parent. The point is that if she hated this kid this much, which clearly she did, why not, and y'all killed him, why not just give up custody? And let the father raise his alleged demon son. You see how that don't make any sense?
In the woods in eastern Washington County, April 16th. Police say fingerprints on trash bags in the suitcase matched Cairo's mother, 37-year-old DeJuan Anderson, and 40-year-old Dawn Coleman. Data from both women's cell phones put them in the Pekin area April 14th, 2 days before Cairo's body was found. This morning, Indiana State Police announced Coleman was arrested a week ago in San Francisco, but they are still searching for the mother.
We desperately want the public's help in finding her and bringing her to justice. This whole case is all about justice for Cairo. That's the only thing this case has ever been about.
Court records document several social media posts by Anderson that indicate she believed her 5-year-old son was demon-possessed.
Indiana State Police has identified that young boy as 5-year-old Cairo Jordan.
His mother is on the run tonight, while a second woman connected to the case is behind bars in California. WLKY Shaquille Lord is live at the State Police Post in Sellersburg. And Shaq, a lot of questions are still lingering about this case.
That's exactly right, Rick and Vicky. We've learned 5-year-old Cairo Jordan is from Atlanta, Georgia. Now, at the beginning of this investigation, investigators say they didn't have a lot to work with. The reason why, no missing persons report was ever filed. And according to a spokesperson today, no family members of this young boy came forward that he was missing. Now, here we are 6 months later. We now have a face and a name to this little boy. And hopefully soon investigators say justice as well. Since April, investigators have worked tirelessly to identify the little boy found dead inside a suitcase in rural Washington County, Indiana. On Wednesday, Indiana State Police could finally do just that, identifying him as Cairo Jordan.
He was 5 years old at the time of his death, and Cairo would have turned 6 this past Monday on October 24th.
An autopsy found Jordan died from an electrolyte imbalance as a result of a stomach bug. His mother, 37-year-old DeJuan Anderson, is facing several charges, including murder. Another woman, 40-year-old Dawn Coleman, is also facing charges and is in custody in California.
It's a bittersweet day, bitter because no matter what progress is made, what happens in a case, we're still dealing with the tragic death of a precious young child.
According to a probable cause affidavit, fingerprints found on a trash bag used to wrap the boy's body matched the two women.
I want to emphasize that no crime scene evidence technologies were spared in this case, in this investigation by the Indiana State Police.
Anderson has a criminal history. Earlier this year, she was arrested in South Carolina, charged with child endangerment for leading troopers on a high-speed chase with her child in the car. A few weeks later, LMPD arrested her on robbery charges at Oxmoor Center. The affidavit also points out chilling Facebook messages Anderson posted, referring to her son as a demonic child and talking about an exorcism. Criminal history.
Technologies were spared.
She had a criminal history. They had all the time in the world to save this child.
In this case, in this investigation by the Indiana State Police.
Anderson has a criminal history. Earlier this year, she was arrested in South Carolina, charged with child endangerment for leading troopers on a high-speed chase with her child in the car. A few weeks later, LMPD arrested her on robbery charges at Oxmoor Center. The affidavit also points out chilling Facebook messages Anderson posted, referring to her son.
Somebody in the chat asked, did he die of a stomach bug if it was murder? I did catch that. I don't really know. That I don't know. That was a little bit confusing to me. But I did catch that, though. So I'm glad you guys are typing in the chat.
As a demonic child and talking about an exorcism. Then, on April 14th, investigators say cell phone towers and a home security camera placed Anderson and Coleman in Pecan, Indiana, near the wooded area where Jordan's body was found.
This whole case is all about justice for Cairo. That's the only thing this case has ever been about.
With thousands of tips pouring in at the start of this case, Hull says the public's help is needed now more than ever to track down Anderson.
We can use help locating her. So for Cairo, help us locate her for Cairo so justice can be served for him.
And investigators believe Anderson is somewhere in California. She was seen in San Diego, LA, and San Francisco. Meanwhile, Coleman is set to be extradited back here to Indiana within the next month.
I'm not saying anybody who sees her should do anything to her, but I wouldn't feel too bad if somebody just decided to snatch her up and drag her down there to the police station. I'm just saying I wouldn't be mad. I'm not suggesting it. I'm just saying I would understand. Just throwing it out there.
Happening right now, there is a nationwide search tonight for a mom accused of murdering her little boy and then leaving his body in a suitcase in southern Indiana. This, of course, a story we've been following now for 6 months.
And this is a case that has captivated central Indiana, in fact, much of the country as well. Tonight, state police need your help to find this woman. This is Dejan Anderson. We first showed you her picture last night at 5 o'clock. They believe she was last seen in the Los Angeles area.
State troopers tell us they have already arrested another suspect in this case. The woman you see here, Dawn Coleman.
And they should use that term loosely when they say woman. Talking about a boy is a demon. This woman literally looks like, I don't know what the hell you would call her. Like she looked like an alien spawn or something. I don't know what the hell you call her.
However, we don't know her relationship to Anderson.
It's just funny looking.
Social media posts from both women indicate they believe the little boy was possessed by a demon.
Today we learned the little boy's mom contacted a local exorcist just days before that body was discovered.
Here's our Rich Nye with the latest.
This Las Vegas suitcase was found in the woods at the end of a dead-end road in eastern Washington County on April 16th.
Somebody in the chat said she looked like a jackal. Yeah. Yeah. That's about accurate.
The little boy inside, we've now learned, was 5-year-old Cairo Jordan from Atlanta. His father shared these photos on Facebook. Just 4 days before the body was discovered, court records say Cairo's mother, Dejan Anderson, tried to contact Father Vincent Lampert on Twitter. I need to speak with you urgently. I have survived the death attacks from my 5-year-old throughout the 5 years he has been alive. I have been able to weaken his powers through our blood. Father Vince never got the message. He hasn't used his Twitter account in 5 years. But he says an exorcism should never harm the person.
A demon is a spirit. It doesn't have a body. So inflicting pain really then would be on that person, their body, and not on any evil spirit that would be present. So there would never be a reason to bring about any physical harm to someone who may be dealing with the demonic.
While police look for the mother, Don Coleman is in custody, awaiting extradition from San Francisco to Indiana. Coleman's Facebook page is filled with references to evil spirits. This post from April 8th includes, "Nothing is what it seems, and we are catering to evil beings and children avatars that aren't even children."
A child cannot.
Anybody who talks like that, unfriend them immediately on social media. Or if they got kids, y'all better tell on them or something. These people should not have children in their possession. You believe in these spirits and demons and sprinkling red pepper flakes and all kind of stupid crap and burning incense and jars of stuff. Those people should not have children. Period.
Bring upon any type of demonic activity through their own actions. God would protect and safeguard children because of their innocence. Now, if a child is being afflicted by evil, then someone who has authority over them, such as a parent or a guardian, would bear that responsibility.
Somebody in the chat asked, and since you asked, you said weaken him through her blood. I want y'all to think about something. Put two and two together. I wish I didn't have to verbalize this, but I guess I'm going to have to. This boy was around two women, his mother and another woman, probably girlfriend and girlfriend. How do you think that these women got blood from their bodies? A, they either cut themselves, which most people who are cowards are not going to harm themselves. Okay? So I would like to rule that one out and say that they probably didn't cut themselves to get blood, but they are two females biologically, I think. Where else would they get blood from? Now y'all get it. You opened up Pandora's box. You asked. Just saying. All I'm saying is it just don't seem too hard to get blood if you have two female individuals whose body every month. Just, oh my God, that is absolute. I was about ready to throw up in my mouth. That just, yeah, sorry I asked. Hey, I feel you, pimpin'. I feel you.
6 months after the body of a little boy was found in a suitcase left on a rural road in Indiana, the search for his killer has led investigators to Southern California. The boy has been identified as 5-year-old Cairo Amar Jordan of Atlanta. He would have turned 6 this week. Instead, his aunt is in custody and his mother is on the run, facing neglect and murder charges. She was last seen in Echo Park. Cairo's autopsy showed no signs of physical trauma. His cause of death was ruled an electrolyte imbalance, likely caused by a stomach bug.
We desperately want the public's help in finding her and bringing her to justice. This whole case is all about justice for Cairo. That's the only thing this case has ever been about. You know, this investigation has a lot of twists and turns, a lot of information. That's still just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of information in this case.
So I don't get how he would die of something like that, but they call it murder. But then at the same time, why would you put a human child, a human being, a child that you chose to get pregnant with, carry for 9 months, bring into this world, and fight the baby's father for custody, to turn around and stick this child in a suitcase in the middle of nowhere, and now you're on the run? Even if the murder charge is I don't want to say overkill, because I don't like using that word with relation to the story, but even if that is an overt charge, I still like it, because there's something really, really wrong here.
That information, police say, comes from reports that in the months leading up to her son's death, Anderson talked about living with a demonic child, even posting on social media about trying to weaken his powers with exorcisms and
exorcism. Where were they getting this blood from? I don't even want to know what this baby actually was forced to live through. But there's never going to be enough justice on this earth. I think hell hath no fury enough for baby murderers. I think they're never going to run out of space in hell for people like these two women. And I can't wait to see swift justice for them. If y'all see them out, like I say, if you see her out and about, I totally get it. If you decide to snatch her up and drag her down there to the police station on your own, I don't suggest doing that, because that's breaking the law. You could get yourself in a ton of trouble by doing that. But if it happens, I understand. I really do. I really do. But whatever happened to this baby, like I say, maybe it's just better that we don't even really have all the full details, because, we'll mess around and have nightmares about this. But baby Cairo went through the worst thing for absolutely no reason, when mom could have just gave up custody and moved on with her happy little life with her little girlfriend, friend, whatever you want to call her. But this baby definitely didn't deserve that. We back it up. Young Cairo, young Prince. R.I.P. I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comment section. If I'm right or wrong about some points, let me know. If you have some theories, post it in here. Let's share the story. Also, share her face, so that way we can make sure and get justice. This is the time where we need to share these stories. So hit that thumbs up, share the story so more people can see it, okay? Thank you.